Hello everyone, welcome to our reflection for Holy Saturday. This has been brought to you by children of all ages. The Way of the Cross brings together the 14 traditional Easter readings from the Gospels. This is a sad story that is filled with violence, betrayal and evil, not normally the things we share with our children. But it's also a story of courage, faithfulness and the greatest act of love in the history of our world. I'll now read for us from John's Gospel, chapter 19, verses 38 to 42. It brings us to where we are in the Easter story here on Holy Saturday. The burial of Jesus. Later, Joseph of Arimathea asked Pilate for the body of Jesus. Now Joseph was a disciple of Jesus, but secretly because he feared the Jewish leaders. With Pilate's permission, he came and took the body away. He was accompanied by Nicodemus, the man who earlier had visited Jesus at night. Nicodemus bought a mixture of myrrh and aloes, about 75 pounds. Taking Jesus' body, the two of them wrapped it with the spices in strips of linen. This was in accordance with Jewish burial customs. At the place where Jesus was crucified, there was a garden, and in the garden a new tomb, in which no one had ever been laid. Because it was the Jewish day of preparation, since the tomb was nearby, they laid Jesus there.
The way of the cross began in the garden. Jesus prayed and prayed while his friends slept.
One friend had not been praying or dreaming. Judas had been plotting and scheming. He led the guards to grab Jesus.
They dragged him before the chief priests and the Bible experts. "Are you the Son of God?" asked the experts.
Meanwhile, Jesus' friend Peter joined the crowd in the courtyard. "Are you a friend of Jesus?" asked a girl. "No," said Peter. "Jesus is not my friend." The rooster crowed.
The priests delivered Jesus to the Roman ruler Pilate. "He's no king," cried the crowd. "Send him to the cross." "He's no criminal," whispered Pilate's wife. "Let him leave." "Are you the king of the Jews?" asked Pilate. "If you say so," replied Jesus. Pilate kept asking questions, but Jesus gave him no answers. Pilate gave up on his questions and handed Jesus to the soldiers.
The soldiers wrapped Jesus in a royal robe and placed a crown upon his head. The crown was made from spikes and thorns. "Hooray for the king," laughed the soldiers.
Then he carried the cross.
Then Jesus carried the cross. Simon from Cyrene was passing by. The soldier stopped him and forced Simon to help Jesus carry the cross.
The women of Jerusalem gathered to comfort Jesus. Jesus could not comfort the women of Jerusalem.
Jesus was hung upon the cross.
"Jesus, remember me when you enter your kingdom," said the criminal. "Soon we will stand together in the king's garden," promised Jesus.
Jesus looked down from the cross and saw two people that he loved, two people that loved him. He said to Mary, his mother, "Woman, John is now your son." He said to John, "My friend, here is your mother." From that day on, Mary lived in John's home.
Jesus died on the cross.
Joseph from Arimathea and Nicodemus the Pharisee took the body of their friend Jesus. They wrapped him in a linen cloth and placed him in a garden tomb. The tomb was sealed with a heavy stone.
The way of the cross led to the tomb, but the story has not ended. It has just begun.
I cast my mind to Calvary, where Jesus bled and died for me. I see his wounds, his hands, his feet.
part of the story where things slow down. So let us spend a few quiet, still moments and imagine being a disciple who's lost Jesus, their teacher, whom they've followed closely for the last 3 years. Imagine what Jesus' mum and family would have felt like. But not to worry. My nana always said to me, the best part of a book was the last couple of chapters. It's where all the action is. It's where the story comes together. Holy Saturday feels like we're at the end of the story, but this story is just beginning. Good Friday is so called because Jesus, God's Son, died on the cross so that the people of the whole world, forever, don't have to feel the pain from their sins. Jesus took that pain for us so that we can be forgiven. Holy Saturday is the day we wait, in faith and hope, that the love of God brings us back to life and frees us from our sins. So the story continues tomorrow. But before we say goodbye, I'd like to say thank you to the St. John's Church family for the lovely retelling of the story so far. A special thanks to Mark for putting it all together. I'd like to finish with a prayer of blessing. May God's blessing be upon us all, our homes, and all our loved ones, this Easter and always. Amen.